Привет.
Yeah. You just love that man.
I
so,
just don't.
So anyways, of course, it's going to be a best of, or 2-game series, best of 2 series, whatever you want to call it. So both of these teams, unfortunately, they do come into this match both with an 0-2 record. Didn't have the greatest success yesterday, but they had some tough opponents. I believe Payne played both Complexity and Gary Johnson, I think it was. And then Cats actually had to play Complexity as well as Orange Esports. So. Yeah. Tough competition, obviously, but here we go as a chance for one of these two teams at least to pick up a win here. So really excited to see a best-of-2 matchup now, Trout.
I think it's safe to say that they already had their hardest matches behind them. And it's still, anything can happen. It's still day 2, anything can happen. But I think it's safe to say also that they do really need to secure a 2-0 victory, either one of the teams, to really stay in it. But either way, we have seen upsets yesterday, of course, and we had a lot of fun. I'm still looking forward to more upsets and more epic moments on Game 2.
Yeah, we indeed had some epic moments yesterday. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so excited again just to be here today. Obviously getting kicked off this match, but for all the matches today. I mean, we got some great matchups, and at the end of the day, we will know which 2 teams from each group are going to be moving on here for the DreamHack Championship. So again, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's $60,000 or 400,000 SEK on the line, so much money on the line, and of course the prestige of being DreamHack winner 2012 champion. So with that said, I've already let the teams know that we're good to go.
All right.
And they have actually loaded in. So ladies and gentlemen, we have some Heroes of New Earth coming at you. Game number 1, Cats taking on Payne Gaming. Let's go. Let's jump into game number 1. So, of course, Cat's going to be actually on the Legion side. Payne is going to be on the Hellborn side here. In the locking phase, the blind band's actually already taking place. So we are looking at Jeremiah, Keeper of the Forest, actually coming out for Cats, and Ophelia Parasite taking care of from Payne Gaming. So once again, we're seeing a lot of junglers being banned here.
Well, it's going to be interesting when we actually see the stats, too, because like you mentioned yesterday, it seems like Ophelia is just blind banned every single game.
Yeah.
And we've seen very little of him. I want to say actually the only time I saw him was when Orange Esports was able to pick him up, and they had a very solid lineup for there. But pretty standard stuff already. I haven't seen Jeremiah blind banned just yet, but that's a hero that can really screw you up. It's kind of a cheeky hero, so to speak. But yeah, nothing too standard, or nothing too out of ordinary, I should say, right there. Fade and Pebbles locked right there. Pretty strong already.
Yeah, of course, great start. And, you know, that goes back to what we talked about yesterday, actually. The locking phase throughout this event, it really has been very solid. We've seen very, very, very little, like what we like to call the trollish style of locks. I mean, it seems like we have a 5 or 6 locks at least that are just always so powerful and definitely options to be picked up. So it seems like a lot of teams have adapted that, especially here on this big stage event that is DreamHack Winter 2012, of course. Teams are taking it very, very seriously and not really, you know, going out of the box in that sense. But now with that said, we have seen some fun strategies, of course. I mean, we've seen some things like crazy push. We've seen a bit of Zephyr making a splash. I mean, there's been some fun things going on. Moon Queen's made a splash and did very well, actually. So
well, I talked with TDM actually on that note, as this guy would say.
Yeah.
On that note, I talked with TDM and they was like, oh my God, are we going to get trolled by Moon Queen? Because it seems to be picked up every single time. It's probably got a very high win rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And actually talking about push strategies too, Payne Gaming, if you remember yesterday, I believe it was Payne where they had it seemed like an all-in push strat with it was Balfagor and what else did they have? Keeper of the Forest. They did the level 1. They did the level 1 Kongor. They tried to pool all of that experience onto Keeper of the Forest. Unfortunately, they accidentally spread it out a little bit. That wasn't their intention. But yeah, needless to say, we have seen some interesting things already from Payne Gaming. Of course, Cats Gaming, we haven't seen them yet. So I'm really curious to see what kind of strategies they have in store for today.
Yeah, definitely am. Cats Gaming, this is the first time. Great point to bring up there. Obviously, we watched Payne Gaming yesterday, as we said, but Cats Gaming, this is their debut here on Honcast, I want to say. I want maybe way back on. Now, Cats Gaming, they actually have been around for a while, being part of the Russian community, the CIS community over there, and they've been a very successful team. In fact, they were the favorites going into the last DreamHack event to make it for the CIS region, but that was, of course, Team GA that qualified instead over them. They actually beat them in the finals, I believe it was, of their qualification event. But here, they made it to Winter, the Winter event. It's great to have them here, of course, representing the CIS region, and very, very excited to see what they can bring to the table, because we do have a history of having some very successful, CIS region players, such as Faye V, Scandal, Guess Who, players that definitely come to mind. So excited to see what these guys bring to the table and see if that's somewhere similar to that level at least. But here we go, the locking phase finishing, and there we go, a little bit interesting at the end. But we have Fade, Pebbles, Pharaoh, Glacius, Engineer, and Flint Beastwood locked up there. So some tri-lane Flint Beastwood, Ralph?
I sure hope so. I want to bring it back. I want to bring back 2011 where we saw that tri-lane metagame with Flint, Myrmidon, and Magnus. You can do something of that nature. It's actually quite strong. I'm not even trolling. Anyway, yeah, Flint is locked there. It's the final lock. Actually, Cats Gaming dipped into quite a bit of extra time, if you see there. Just in the lock phase. They haven't even done any picking, but 13 seconds remaining in the reserve time. So hopefully they aren't coming close to that and have to random something, because that would be bad. I mean, Pain Gaming could technically pull the, you have the time card. So it's just...
It's true, I mean.
I'm just throwing it out there because I've seen it happen before, and it has been an issue in the past. So, I just want to throw that out there. But anyway, the bans have started. Starting out with an Amphora, Tundra, Wild Soul, Draconis. I'm really happy that Draconis is banned. I'm just tired of seeing that hero, frankly. But anyway, a couple more bans, one more ban on each side for each team.
Yeah. Speaking of, Draconis, we actually haven't seen, I want to say maybe we saw Draconis once so far. He has been banned quite often as usual, of course, but yeah, you're right. He's just one of those heroes, whenever he's in the game, it's like, oh god, there's a Draconis, you have to deal with it. Similar to like a Mage Bane, or at least what Mage Bane used to be. I mean, honestly, nowadays, Mage Bane doesn't seem to be as scary or threatening. Teams really haven't been playing him a whole lot here on the competitive scene within the last month or so. Moraxis is going to be the final ban from Cats, and Silhouette is the final ban from Pain. So here we go, going to go into the regular picking stage, taking a quick look at, some possible first pick options. You, of course, got something like your Luna, your Dark Lady Carrier is a great option here. Obviously, with the ones that are banned, your Silhouette, your Draconis. Tempest, though, another good option, and sure enough, picked up by Cats there right off the bat. So we'll see how Pain Gaming responds. Are we going to see some more aggressive push strategy out of them, or are they going to try for something safer, a little bit different? Probably something a little bit safer. Yeah. I mean, they're down 0-2 so far, and they need to secure this series. Not just the game, but they need to secure the entire series. Not to mention, look, what else is on the line. 30.8 PSR for some of these players. Come on. That's true. That's reason enough to try. Yes. No, PSR, no one cares about that anymore. Anyway, yeah, Tempest is the first pick for Cats, and look again, yet they only have 2 seconds left in their reserve time. That's very important to note, is you're going to have to really quickly think on your feet. Hopefully they do not have to random a hero. I would hate to see that. Anyway, the next picks are up for Pain Gaming. Pride is their captain. Let's see what he wants to do. Yeah, of course, completely up to him. Now, he has plenty of extra time to use, so he's going to start tipping into that himself, but Pride, of course, the captain for the team. So we didn't get the chance to actually go over the rosters, but real quickly, just to glance through them. Actually, hold that thought though. Legionnaire, Moon Queen are actually going to be your first 2 picks here. So speaking of Moon Queen, and the crowd actually reacting to that, we had some great Moon Queen games, and seems like in the Latin American scene, especially, obviously yesterday, Tail playing it for Dynasty, and that was one of the most epic moments. Easily we've had at this event in a very long time, actually. I mean, the fact that he got that similar rage. I heard later on, they watched the replay, I think he had, I want to say, 72 life. He was on a 72 life or something like that. And then he just popped a similar rage, healed back up, and then, of course, they eventually beat, that was TT Esports there, so great victory for them. So that's such a horrible feeling, too, if you're on the other end of it. You're like, of course. If I just auto-attacked him one more time, or if I just did this one more time, or got him in this spell just a little bit more, it would have completely changed the game. But yeah, it was a huge epic moment. Some fast picks, as they have to be for Cats, is Tremble and Bubbles. So I like the Legionnaire Moon Queen pickup. That actually looks like if I didn't know what teams were playing, I would have said that actually was Vote, because those seem to be heroes that Vote really seems to like, or Gary Johnson, of course. Yeah, that's something that I could definitely see them picking up. You're right. So if they follow up with something like an Engineer here, well, actually Engineer's part of the lock pool, so possibility there. But yeah, the Tremble Bubbles pick coming out for Cats Gaming. So clearly Cats somewhat comfortable with this Tremble hero. Again, he seems to be kind of a niche hero. There's a couple teams. Speaking of Gary Johnson, that KZU specifically likes to play, over here I'm interested to see who on Cats that likes to play actually some Tremble for them. But now the final pick going to be coming up here for Pain Gaming. So you look at the options that are left on the board. Now you got a support option there in Glacius in that lock pool, but you might want to, I could see an Aluna pick up in here instead just to be safe if you're Pain Gaming, because if you look over at Cat's side, they too actually need a support still for them. So they could very likely take Glacius even as a first pick, depending on what goes on here, of course, from Pain Gaming. So definitely thinking about it here, and they're dipping into a lot of extra time, all the way down to 10 seconds here, Joe. I know it. They really want to think about what they will have to get. There is only one support in that pool, and they do go with a Plague. It could be a Suicide, but the thing I'm scared of is, what if they decide to, Cats that is, decide to take up that Glacius first? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in that pool still. Fade, especially jumping out to me, but I guess, okay, Engineer is the support too, so what am I saying? So, yeah, Fade is picked up. That was the first thing that jumped out to me. When you lock, did they lock Fade? Let me just double check on that. Scrolling up, scrolling. Yeah, they actually first locked it. So with locking that, you probably should have the intention of picking up, especially when you are in that first position. Yeah. It's just a ridiculous hero, man. On top of Fade and Tremble, that's so much map control. Being able to move around the map with that clear vision through the trees constantly. Also have Tremble mounts up all across the map, porting to them to and fro. It's just a lot of map control. Yeah, and can't say I'm too surprised with those two final picks. I mean, Pebbles, Glacius, that itself can be actually a lane. You figure that could be like a dual lane mid. You got Moon Queen solo top perhaps, and Plague in a suicide role. Then you have Legionnaire jungle. And so the makeup of actually Pain Gaming right here looking very strong. Engineer going to be the final pick for Cats. Again, I can't say I'm surprised about that, you know, seeing that they still needed to support themselves. So that was a case of where they're going to pick Glacius or Engineer. They went Glacius on Pain, so Cats is going to be fine. Going Engineer themselves, Kwai, that is a support player, of course, for Cats Gaming. He is going to be playing that Engineer role here. So game number 1 going to be starting off. Again, a little bit delayed here for these teams even. They were waiting around just a little bit, so ANC to get things started. But here we go, loading into our first game of the day. What we're going to be covering 5 total 2-game series here today. So 10 matches in total once again here on day number 2 for Honcast.com. So hopefully you guys are ready for a great long day ahead of us as far as just awesome Heroes of New Earth content. Again, I know you guys are out there. Yeah, make some noise for it today. Let's go. Yeah, we're ready. There you go. I love this crowd. They're always so great.
Can you zoom in on Fade? Is this a new alt skin that I haven't seen before? Because it looks really cool on my computer.
Look at
this.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Anyone under 16, get out. Get out of here.
Guys.
This is NS.
How about that?
Not safe. FW.
NSFW.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, distracted now. So
Look
yeah,
at
speaking
that.
of Fade though, she is going to be going middle lane. Stay on track here, Charles. Tralf. Get off. No, but
Did you hear what he said? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, talking about the game.
Yes, the game itself. All right, so we have Tremble Engineer actually going to be heading bottom, it looks like. Or maybe, I guess Engineer could end up heading top lane. He's actually, we have Kwai right here sitting in a very interesting spot. I don't know, if we may be expecting somebody to come or just simply hiding. They're waiting to eventually go place a ward somewhere, but it looks like Tremble's going to be bottom. I'm guessing he's going to make his way mid, though, with Fade. And, of course, that leaves top lane. We're going to have Bubbles and, obviously, Tempest in the jungle. So both teams, it actually makes a lot of, they both picked, actually, powerful lane setups, it seems like.
I think Cats Gaming's lineup is freaking strong, man.
Yeah.
Like, this lineup is really strong. If they do this dual lane mid with Fade Engineer, that's so damn strong. I don't know many things that can beat it except for maybe double range. It does look like it might be a Glacius Pebbles. Pebbles is making his way mid. Yeah, it will be a Glacius Pebbles, so that's a very strong lane as well. Moon Queen top versus Bubbles. I mean, Moon Queen's in the short lane, and she has a little bit more base damage, but Bubbles can harass a lot if he plays his cards right. So that's somewhat even. Obviously, Bubbles might have a little bit more difficult time being in the long lane. Legionnaire in the jungle, I think it's going to come down to the jungles, honestly. It always does when you have a similar matchup and an even matchup in all the rest of the lanes. Tremble versus Plague Rider. Tremble should get every single CS. And they also pooled him extra regen, so that's going to be fantastic for him. I like what Cats Gaming is doing here.
Is there a difficult hero? Okay, by the way, hold that thought for a second. In the middle lane, Engineer actually in a lot of trouble. We're going to see a Bloodlust kill. Kwai pushing himself away with his own Kegstun right there, and he is going to be fine. Very, very close, but excellent job placing that Kegstun. That's a great thing about that Kegstun that's, I think, underrated. Not only can you use it for, of course, to stun the enemy and get some kills, but you can use it defensively like that to push yourself away from the opponents, and that's exactly what Kwai did right there to help himself stay alive. So well played on his part. But what I was going to go to, you're just talking about Tremble right there, how he should definitely just dominate this matchup against Plague Rider. It seems like we see a lot. When a solo 1 versus 1 matchup, Tremble should always not necessarily dominate, but at least have a good time. I mean, is there a matchup that you can say that, at least on the competitive scene, that could be powerful against Tremble 1v1?
Let me go ahead and pull up this hero dex here, because it's
mind?
hard to say, because no matter what, even if he's getting harassed a ton, he's always going to get CS because he has extra damage with a hatchet and that Impaler's ability. So in a short lane, probably not. I could say maybe Slither, but like I'm going to be mentioning heroes that probably aren't ever played in the competitive scene anyway, so it's really difficult. The best way to do it is either in mid, but you never see Tremble go mid, or if you dual lane in with like a Glacius, because Glacius keeps him in place with the Ice Imprisonment. You have a Sentry Ward to keep doing damage on top of that.
Yeah, what about like a Tempest actually suicide?
People said that Tempest is okay because you can use your elementals after they split to kill the mounts. I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but you're still never going to stop a CS, and it's just not enough harass on top of the hero to really keep him out of the lane.
Yeah.
He just regens too much life from his mounts. On top of he has extra regen pool to him, so he's never going to get he's never going to dip down low enough.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful tool for him to use, of course, with that mount. So we see right here, in fact, let's take a look at the current stats, actually. We are looking at an 8-3 start here for Tremble compared to a 5-5 for Plague Rider. So, Tremble is winning, but it's not taking off necessarily as far as you say. Holy crap, this is getting really loud in my headphones. If production team back there could actually turn down the sound for myself. I can barely even keep my headphones on.
I know, it's pretty loud for me, too.
It's getting insanely loud over here. Anyways, we are in a pause. I'm not exactly sure who paused it. It looks like the Hellborn team go ahead and Pain Gaming, they actually decided to pause the game. So hopefully nothing too serious. Again, after a delayed start, not that it's their fault. It was definitely on our side. We're working out some technical issues on our side, mainly with the sound. But obviously it seems like we, for the most part, got it figured out. Looks like that they are ready to go, though, on Pain Gaming side. So we are going to be good to resume here, of course, hopefully very shortly. Just a response from Cat, so there we go. So as far as the stats go, I mean, taking a quick look at it again, I mean, nothing standing out too much as far as start. I mean, Pebbles is actually after this pretty solid start in the middle lane, 14-0 actually. He's having a very good time actually. Look at it in the middle lane, Pebbles.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got ridiculous base damage. Actually, that is quite good considering the fact that he did not get a hatchet. So, and I think that's a smart thing against this lane. If you look at the lanes, you can see that they probably will do a Fate Engineer mid. You don't want to hatchet against that. You want the survivability. And you see a stun coming out onto Pebbles. The keg stun actually does hit him. It didn't look like it was going to. The Stalagmite stun does hit Engineer. We could see Bloodlust right here. A couple more on attacks. It's not going to be quite enough. So low HP. 33 HP on that Engineer. Very, very close.
Yeah, that was, again, barely able to get away. So Kwai having some very close calls here, but barely staying alive himself. The top lane, in the meantime, Bubbles harassed Moon Queen out of the lane. Nearly got a kill, actually. Dove the tower to an extent, but just wasn't able to finish her off. So she actually had to go all the way back to base now. Is going to have to regen. In the meantime, Shyla Styles here on Bubbles is having a very good time. I mean, you look at his creep farm, 12-5 compared to that 9-1 Moon Queen. So actually, Bubbles is definitely winning that top lane in that sense. And again, the fact that he had to send her back to base, very good news here for Cats Gaming and the start right there. So Moon Queen not off to the greatest of start. We'll see how she picks up as time goes on, of course. But for now, again, Bubbles is definitely winning that top lane.
I think Bubbles is one of those heroes that just has the potential to win a lot of lanes that he's maybe not supposed to win, quote unquote. He just he has lots of range. His animation is actually, I think, pretty good. Except I really don't like this skin. Me personally, I know a lot of people do. I can't stand the animation. I like the original one, or the Ninja Bubbles. But Moon Queen's range is lower. Until she hits level 5, she can't really do that much harass with her nuke. And so Bubbles can just constantly harass, spam out in the lane. And if this is one of those situations where he can constantly use his Shelf Surf to not only get CS, but also spam and harass her, and not worry about, like, say, a Zephyr, you know, gussing him in, and he can't use his escape mechanism. So this is a little bit of a better lane for Bubbles.
Oh, middle lane, actually Fade maybe a little bit trouble now. We see the center boss. Oh, he avoids the Cole right there somewhat, but Pebbles did not chuck Fade. I am not sure about that. I don't know if he just didn't have enough mana or what, but he decided not to actually chuck Fade right there, and she was easily able to survive. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, maybe he figured that the Cole was going to come out and that would have burned enough mana so he couldn't, so that's why he dodged it. So maybe that was it, but it seemed like he could have used the chuck before she even had a chance to Cole, of course. So I don't know. That was a very interesting decision there, lack thereof, from coming out from King. And as a result, we're still sitting without a Bloodlust kill, coming up to the 5-minute mark, actually. So, of course, coming to a pause here once again. These are the first. This is actually the first game of the day, the very first game of the day that's happening. So again, getting into a new day, you know, some technical issues may come up as far as the computers go. Just setting things up initially. Want to get those figured out. You know, bindings and stuff too. Want to make sure that those are all set. And I know you as a player, you can vouch for that. In fact, from what I heard at least, you know, a lot of players actually use a lot of different bindings. Surprisingly, I wasn't even aware of that, but. You know, there's a good different bindings, you know, from buying items to what you use your items with. So you have to go through all that, you know, every time you log on your computer. So
yeah,
something to keep in mind.
I know.
Land setting.
I know. It's always annoying going there and seeing someone playing with like arrow keys or South Plaza.
Oh, middle lane. Engineer maybe going down once again right here. She's actually there's the turret and it's gonna barely survive the final auto attack. Not enough. Again, Engineer somehow finding a way to get away right there. I want to say that wasn't the best play right there from Pain. It seems like they really should have been able to get that kill, but he just barely gets away. Now look at this Tempest actually going to the middle lane as if they want to set up a counter gank, maybe bait out bait right here. In fact, there goes the Burning Shadows. Are we going to see Kexon? Yes, we are. Pushes him, and Pebbles in a lot of trouble. We're going to possibly see the Bloodlust kill coming out. King's going to be trapped by the Elemental, and there's a final auto attack. Scorpion on Tempest. Will pick up the kill. Look at Faye nearly dying herself, but she barely stays alive as well. So Cats Gaming knows how to live life on the edge, and they are now up 1-0 as a result of that kill.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of back and forth. I gotta say, from both sides, though, like you were mentioning, it was a little sloppy. I feel like they could have gotten the kill a lot earlier, but maybe to both teams it is the first game of the day. Maybe some jitters are in the store, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. But nonetheless, Cats Gaming does start off with a Bloodlust, and as a result, they're leading just a little bit in Golden Experience, but nothing crazy just yet. And overall CS, let's take a look at that. Who is the constant leaders? Legionnaire having actually quite a good time in that jungle. He has used that hatchet a number of times, Yo-Yo Balls, that is, to stack multiple camps at once. That's one of the reasons why you do get a hatchet on Legionnaire.
317. Tempest, I mean, 313. So both the junglers doing very well. Of course, Tempest is working off that bloodless kill he just got. So a slight advantage coming from that. In fact, he finishes his Ring of Sorcery right there. So that is some good news. Fade, in the meantime, at the bottom lane, currently with an invisibility rune, actually. So Plague Rider needs to be very careful right here that he does not overextend a little bit, because he must have saw something. He's playing very passive right now, as he is basically hugging that tower. So knows that something is up. Obviously, they know Fade is missing from the middle lane, so probably figure something is up, and playing very smart as a result of that. So well played right there from Unk, actually. Playing that Plague Rider, going to fall back and actually survive as a result of that. But Tremble, in the meantime, how's Tremble looking as far as his creep farm goes? 36 and 15 compared to that 14 and 12, Plague Rider. So, you know, it was a little bit of a slow start, but actually, Legionnaire in a lot of trouble. Ball's putting in, and there's a kill on a Legionnaire. Tempest coming over for the assistance. My guess is that they completely caught him off guard and, well, take him out. So 2 kills happening. Scorpion doing some work right here in Tempest.
Yeah, I don't think that Yo-Yo Balls had any idea that Tempest had rotated towards his woods, but nonetheless, he has having an amazing creep farm in the jungle.
Oh, Boris get close enough for the entrapment right here? Can he get up the hill? Oh, nice Burning Shadow Stun right there. Here comes Boris. Going to trap actually Glacius instead of Pebbles, and Pebbles says, get off my bitch. But chucks him away, and Boris is going to fall back right there. So, yeah, well played right there. That was a good job by Tremble, though, trying to assist the middle lane. And that's what you love to see from Tremble players. You know, using that Boris for assistance in cases like that. Although they didn't get the kill, at least the idea was there. And trying to help him. Meanwhile, at the top lane, there goes the kill field. Oh, the Moon Finale, but it's hitting all the creeps. Not one bounce hit Bubbles right there. And as a result, they get the kill on a Moon Queen, and Bubbles will stay alive. Now, we talk about RNG being in the favorite a lot of the time with that Moon Finale. That time, it was not in favor of him whatsoever. It did not have a single bounce hit Bubbles right there.
Well, I mean, that's true, but when you cast an ultimate like that, you have to assume the worst.
Yeah.
You have to cast it with I mean, there was a lot of creeps around. You have to just assume. Actually, some action onto Plague Rider. Scorpion gets a serial killer, starting off well on this Bubbles. No, sorry, actually, that was the Tempest that got the kill, actually. But you have to basically assume that you're going to hit the other units first. You can't do that and just try to get lucky.
Test. Okay, sorry. Thought I got muted right there. But anyways, yeah, that's actually a great point to bring up. And right there, you know, Moon Queen, he was kind of just reaching for the stars, you could say. Tried to take Bubbles with him, but it just wasn't to be. So in the meantime, I mean, Yo-Yo Balls, we talked about this earlier. You know, Legionnary's been having a decent time. He's sitting around a 300 gold per minute mark. Right now, he's actually doing some Ancients. Oh, wow, getting very low right there. A couple more auto attacks, and he very likely would have died. Meanwhile, back to the middle lane, actually, Pebbles again being engaged, missing the Kexun, though. Just a little bit too late. Fade, it looks like the Burning Shadows came out. I don't even know if the Burning Shadows hit, though, as Pebbles is able to survive. But Pebbles is currently by himself, and actually another Burning Shadow is going to come out. There's a Cole, but Engineer just a little bit too far behind. Not enough mana anyways. Wasn't able to assist, and now Legionnaire is heading back towards the middle lane. But Glacius was busy occupying the bottom lane for the meantime. Right there. Maybe trying to set up a gank on a Tremble. Obviously, that did not happen, though. The top lane, yeah, Moon Queen once again in a lot of trouble. The Keffield going to be coming out. There's the Moon Beam from Moon Queen. Now, Plague Rider joining the party, but the quick Shell Surf away with the take cover. And Bubbles going to survive. Tempest finding an engagement right here. Oh, Plague Rider has a perfect Plague-oo opportunity, it seems like. It's going to be coming up right here. There's a Moon Beam hitting. Where's your Plague-oo, Plague Rider? Is going to start. No, he's not going to use it right there. Moon Queen just completely on the run. Are we going to see Shell Surf everywhere? Nice dodge right there from Moon Queen. And Pride will survive. I'll say this much. I mean, this game, the action is definitely picking up here.
Yeah, in the meantime, Yo-Yo, I was going to say Razor, but that's their sponsor. But Yo-Yo Balls gets a kill down there. And, yeah, good sidestep from Pride. Of course, Moon Queen is one of those heroes that has, I think it actually has the highest base movement speed.
Yeah.
To start, of course, after boost, it's 370. That's really freaking fast.
Yeah, you said, I think we talked about that yesterday. It was her versus a Plague Rider, actually. Two of the top movement speed heroes in the game. So, yeah, about 320 default, or base, you could say. And you said now 370 as a result of having the little red booties. The top lane once again, though. We have Tempest running the Plague Rider, actually. Plague Rider again. Is he going to play Goo right here? No, he's not just hit. Oh, he doesn't even get it off. He tried right there, but could not. The Tempest ultimate pulling on all the illusions as well as Pebbles. But Tempest, unfortunately, doesn't have anyone else. The Elementals that were just sitting there. There they go. They finish off Moon Queen. But Tempest will fall. Now, did he get the kill first? I believe he did. So he will get the experience for that. So in the end, I mean, that worked out fairly well for Scorpion, actually. Despite him dying and actually Fade finding Glacius right here. Comes out of the invis. And the final. Oh, not going to be enough just yet. Can he chase him now? Legionnaire coming in. Not going to go. Oh, the juke on the ramp right there, but not going to be enough. Well played by Coplin. But the juke on the ramp just could barely not get away. And he falls. So, man, 7-2 hero kill start here in favor of Cats Gaming.
I don't know what Pebbles was doing. I feel like he was trying to walk around and get a good, way to stun and cancel that ultimate, but I feel like he could have done it from a long range. It actually is a much longer range than you think it is.
Yeah.
Your Stalagmite stun, and as a result, he actually walked into it, and that caused a lot more damage onto Moon Queen, and because of that, Pride died yet again. The Moon Queen is now 0-2-1, and this is a hero I talked about. I'm not the biggest fan of him in general, but you have to get a fantastic start on Moon Queen to really snowball to the late game.
Oh, Legionnaire actually jumping Fade right there. He's getting a little bit of counter on his part, but you see how tanky he is already. With the Helm of the Black Legion alone, he just is able to absorb so much damage with so much, and the big life pool he has, of course. He really wasn't too worried about dying right there. So he went for an attempt to force Fade, if anything, to use some of those bottle charges and regen up right there. But you mentioned earlier he got the kill. Fade doing some big work here. Both junglers for both teams are definitely having the biggest impact so far, it seems like, in this game, but it's definitely working out a lot better for Cats Gaming right now. The team representing the CIS region, of course. They currently have a 3,200 gold lead, as well as a 2,300 experience lead. It now coming up to the 12-minute mark, as we see hitting right there. Top tower being pushed in, and vulnerability is going to be used. Tempest and Bubbles are up here, and they are going to push this tower, it looks like, unless Moon Queen does something pretty, well, that would be suicidal, honestly. Yeah, she's going to fall back, so top tower kill, 12 minutes in. And the lead continues to get bigger now for Cats Gaming here. Yeah, the first tower of the game is now down, and already bottom tower has been pressured considerably with Tremble. He does do negative, I want to say he reduces armor, yeah, with both himself and his minion, Boris. Hey, that's funny, actually. I just put that together as Cats Gaming. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, the first tower has been destroyed up top. Lots of pressure bottom. Yeah. They just have an all-around good start. And Fade actually, they do have a counter ward in mid. Actually, some action going up top. Yeah, Moon Queen getting caught out right here with the Kelpin, and Tempest on top of him. Glacius coming in, but Moon Queen just gets bursted down. Legionnaire now running in, wants some revenge for his fallen teammates. Crying tears. He wants some revenge. And the taunt coming out of Bubbles right there to take off his already is. He doesn't have a shell serve for another 5 seconds. Tempest does pick off Glacius. In the meantime, there's that play. Bounces into the creeps, actually. Bounces back to Bubbles, back to the creep, and down goes Bubbles right there with the decapitate. Tempest does not have an ultimate ready to use right there. That would have been pretty huge. Not even going to matter, though. Flag on a roll fall. Now Yo-Yo Balls, he wants some more revenge, but he needs to get away because he is dropping himself. Or is he? Actually, the spins that work. Oh, the missing Burning Shadows from Zerta right here, and that could cost him his life, actually. He's going to take that charge. Pebbles running in, but Pebbles gets stunned by Tempest, and Fade is in complete enemy territory. Going to stay in the next tree. Hopefully that's enough. No, there's that shock, and down goes Fade. So Scorpion did everything he could right there, trying to help his teammate, but it just wasn't enough. But look at Scorpion, man. 7-1-2, 460 gold per minute. Already for this Tempest. He is active, man. This Tempest is actually playing really, really well. Big props to Scorpion. I gotta say that was a huge misplay, unfortunately, by Fade. That the stun was just completely off the mark. Yeah. And there's unfortunately just no excuse for that. You have to hit those stuns. And he also could have used his power supply much earlier. And I was just waiting for it. Or he also had a bottle charge too, and could have done it much earlier and been in a better position to do that. Yeah. In the meantime, some signs of life for Pain Gaming. This Pebbles is very close to his portal key. He is saving up 2,000 gold, but does not have a steam boot, so he's going to be kind of one of those one and done. He just kind of jumps in, uses his combo, and he has to regen just like basically with 2 bottle charges before he can use that combo yet again. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. That's very risky. It literally costs 315 mana for the whole thing. He has 338. Yeah. So one of the great things about steam boots is you can swap those treads to int and then get the full effectiveness out of a bottle or a power supply or what have you. But in the meantime, look at this. Tremble has a freaking Sword of the High. Yeah, I mean, so obviously going that Mocker Brilliance first year as FF, the captain of Cats Gaming here, and he's just been AFK farming away at this bottom lane thing. I mean, it's been working out very well, obviously pushing in the tower, and he's farming right now. 361 gold per minute, which may normally be the top of the game at this rate, but Tempest, with the game that he's having, again, being 7-1-2, he's been involved in 9 of the 10 kills by himself. Doing some big work as Legionnaire going suicidal, man. Legionnaire going balls to the wall right here, trying to take out Tempest. Actually, does he have a decapitate ready? No, he does not. 15-second cooldown still, and actually Yo-Yo Balls will have to fall back. So again, though, Legionnaire is showing the power actually that he has as far as being a tank right there. As he went into 3 heroes, not really too worried, but he's not going to be able to tank this. Dark Sword coming out from Tremble. He tries to chase on Tempest. It ain't going to matter though. Down goes Legionnaire. So. Tank indeed, but you can only tank so much damage in the end. I just think the lineup is playing itself that Cats Gaming has. I mean, not to say that they're not playing it correctly, but it's just like their draft is so perfect that just everything falls into place. They have massive map control, like I talked about, between Boris and all the Terra Mounds all around. Tempest is constantly just going back and forth all across the map, playing fantastically. And just the presence of a Fade makes it so difficult to really get any farm. You see right here, a massive push in the middle, and everyone here from Cats Gaming joining the party. That tower's going to fall, and the Hellborn team, really nothing that they could do about that. Pebbles off to the side. Now, Pebbles does have that portal key, so he has a surprise factor in his favor. But if they're going to stick together like this, you don't think that's going to be able to bring much use. And I mean, you look at the Legion team right now. Honestly, you know, you've got Engineer and Fade. Sure, they're still fairly squishy, but Tempest especially, I mean, he's pretty beefy. You got Tremble, who's pretty beefy himself, and then Bubbles, he actually has over 1,000 life with those Steam Boots and Grave Locket even. So we have a lot of pauses here in this game.
I know.
Didn't really have much yesterday, but hopefully it's not a sign of things to come for today. But
and I think that actually might be the Legion's last pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. That's their final pause. So hopefully they don't have any more problems for the rest of the game. But yeah, Maka Brilliance will be up in about 150 gold for that Tremble, and Bubbles is very close to his portal key as well. Fade doesn't exactly have the most farm, but I've talked about this with a ganker, especially like Fade. All you really need is maybe Strider's portal key. Everything after that is pretty much luxury.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get into the late game, things like Hellflower become very popular because with tanky heroes like Legionnaire, or once you start building up like a tank or get a Shrunken Head on, say, Moon Queen, you want that extra damage from the Hellflower. So, but yeah, everything after portal key on Fade is just luxury.
Yeah.
So she's got the levels. Once she gets to level 11, that I always talk about Fade. Once she gets to level 11, having that extra duration on her ultimate, that's when she really becomes a problem if she hasn't been before. So
yeah. See right there, and again, I assume that's what I was talking about earlier. You know, with the key bindings and everything, it could be, you know, jumping on a new computer at a LAN setting, you can only, you know, really figure it out until you're actually playing the game and you realize you have to use it. And you're like, wait a second, that's not what I wanted to do. You have to go and rebind it. So clearly, just having some issues right there. But it seems like we're good to go again. And like I said earlier, hopefully that's the last boss. That is the last boss for Cats Gaming, actually. So
maybe the key binding's like, I tried to smackdown him, but it didn't work.
Wanted a taunt, damn it. Taunt gets you more points, right?
Yeah.
Fade coming up into the top lane. Pebbles actually realizing something's up, or maybe just had that presence of mind right there, and he decides
they have
to
a ward.
portal key away. They do have a ward down here, yeah, so that is very likely. That's spotted, actually. At least somebody coming over, so going to be fine for now. And, you know, if he can now manage to farm those Steam Boots, which he might have, but what's that?
Look at the bottom lane. They have 2 wards in the same exact spot. Both Pride and Goblin have placed. Do you see this down here?
Yeah.
So that's an unfortunate communication right there. Let me just double check the time right there. 1's 280 seconds. It basically placed at the exact same time.
Right. So like, let's go ward there. All right. Boom, boom. Wait, I thought I was doing. No, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. So kind of a waste of 100 gold, of course, but not the end of the world at the same time. Speaking of portal keys, Legionnaire, of course, I'm sure wants to maybe start working on this portal key next for him. I mean, he's got his helmet of Black Legion, has the Mystic Vestments, little red booties. Wouldn't be surprised to see that next. Oh, yeah, we do see actually Pebbles catching Engineer right here. Not going to be able to chase him down. The turret's slowing him enough. He's going to turn around and try to get the haste rune. Is it going to happen? No, there comes the Burning Shadows on top of the Boar Stun. They're going to steal the haste rune right in front of his face. Start laughing at him, and Pebbles will fall. Well played right there from Cats Gaming. Pebbles tried so hard to get to the haste rune. It wasn't to be, though. And again, Kwai on this Engineer knows how to live, man. Meanwhile, Legionnaire being jumped. He's damn tanky, but is he tanking up? Are we going to even see a Tempest Ultimate here, perhaps? Plague Rider coming in, but look at Legionnaire taking all the damage, but in the end, he will end up falling, trying to chop to the trees. It's not going to happen, though. Fade now finding Glacius. Doesn't have a Burning Shadows ready. There we go. Burning Shadows going to come out. Goblin in a little bit of trouble. Will the team support be enough? The Shell Surf going to hit, and down goes Glacius right there. Moon Queen now with an ultimate ready to go. It's only level 1 Moon Finale, however, so not going to be the most effective, and we're going to see a mass push now. In the meantime, Force and Tremble are just mass pushing this bottom lane, so Cats Gaming is getting a very significant lead here early on.
Yeah, that whole time that Legionnaire was standing in that Meteor of Tempest, and that does actually a lot of work, especially on tanks, because it's a percentage base. And I was going to say something else, and I totally missed it. But oh yeah, this is one of those problems when you have a portal key a little bit later on the Pebbles. He completely comboed down this Engineer, but he had a little bit too much farm. He didn't have his Mystic Vestments just yet. Now he does. So it's even worse. But he had his Bolstering Armband, gives you +6 strength. He had like just not even 1 full auto attack left. He used the power supply and barely lived.
Yeah.
So had Pebbles got that portal key just maybe even like say 2 minutes earlier, it would have been a free kill, and he would have been safe to get that haste rune afterwards.
Yeah, that could have definitely worked out. So again, it just shows you how small things like that can definitely add up for the team. So right now, I mean, we're looking at a 14,000 gold lead, 7,700 experience lead.
Yeah.
Again, it is devastating in favor of Cats Gaming right now. We're only 18 minutes into the game. That's what makes it so dominating at this point. I just saw actually a Soul Scream being purchased by Scorpion here on Tempest, so we're going to see an early Energizer. I mean, look at this build, by the way. In fact, there we go. Energizer finish. She has Astrolabe, Energizer, Ring of Sorcery. Not a build you typically see on Tempest, but at the same time, well, you know, I guess Astrolabe, Ring of Sorcery, not too odd by any means. the Energizer a little bit different. But Scorpion, again, he's been playing out of his mind, man. Speaking of him, once again, gonna catch Pebbles right here. Tremble with the assist. There's a Boris net.
Oh my
and down goes Pebbles. Yeah, he fell quickly, man. Those Impalers do some big damage. The Mocker Brilliance on top of that. I think Cats Gaming is on their way to their first victory here at the DreamHack Winter 2012 event. Lego are going to get picked off. Legionnaire now taunting right there on a fade. Not going to be enough though. Now Legionnaire may be in a little bit of trouble. Glaciers nearby. The energy field, they're using everything. They want to kill this Legionnaire. The Keg's not going to miss though. But in comes Boris and Treble once again. And down goes Legionnaire. They're going to mass push the top tower now. If I'm Paint Gaming, well, I'm thinking of putting the pain out of my misery or something.
I mean, Cats Gaming, it seems like coming into day 2, I haven't seen them unfortunately play obviously in game 1, but they're really banging on all cylinders here, man.
Yeah.
And I got to keep going back to the draft, man, especially in Heroes of Newith at the top level. It really comes down to the draft. And their draft on paper, it's so damn good, man. It looks so good.
It is.
Fade Engineer, you got a strong Suicide Bubble, strong Tempest, and this Tempest player, Scorpion, has been playing fantastically. Got to give him MVP this game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, again, I think Pain also drafted fairly well themselves. The lanes actually made a lot of sense, and the lineup in itself. I mean, it is more of a, again, it's the Moon Queen is always, although granted we have seen her work, of course, this event very effectively. So it's hard to sit here and say that's a bad carry option, but it's clearly an option that here at the DreamHack event, more and more teams are starting to get used to. But she is a big-time late game hero. You know, in the early game, the laning phase, she has one of the shortest ranges, I believe, out of any range hero. I mean, it can be very difficult early on. So, and clearly, Pride here, unfortunately, is just struggling on the Moon Queen, only farming 212 gold per minute, and especially when that's happening. You know, it's not going to be the best of news. But Portakey also now picked up on Tempest, man. This guy is farming out of his mind. 485 gold per minute. Look at Tremble, who's actually at the same mark himself. He has another 3,500 gold pulled up.
I know, they're just so far. I mean, look at that. Almost 20k gold in 20 minutes. I don't think I've seen a league this much this early on in this whole tournament. Out of the matches that we've covered, this is easily the biggest difference as far as all that goes in favor of Catherine. Here we go, another big engagement going to be coming out. Kempin in the background on a Pebbles. Pebbles completely out of mana now. The Cole on top of the Burning Shadows on a Plague. Can he at least get off on Plague? Yes, he can. That's going to start passing around. Pebbles will fall. The Moon Finale doing some work. Legionnaire in the foreground, in top of the energy field. But Pebbles joins the party. He gets silenced up because he jumped through the energy field. He chucks Fade away, says, get off me, bitch. Engineer, though, still surviving. Down goes Pebbles right there. Legionnaire will finish up Engineer. But Tremble is here, and down goes Legionnaire. The Dark Swarm on top of Glacius. He will fall as well. And Moon Queen just has to port away. FF finishes with a double tap kill right there on Tremble. And Cats Gaming, they have a 4-for-2 exchange, and I cannot see Pain lasting too much longer here in this game. You know, it's scary when you're winning these fights so well and you're still not even using this Tempest ultimate. I think he was just out of mana. He was constantly using his spells. He has an Astrolabe to use, an Energizer, his Elementals, his Stun, his Meteor. This all costs so much mana. And his ulti is not like mana. It's mana inefficient, actually. It's 300 mana cost, so he doesn't even need it, though. That's the thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you know you're in a kind of scary position if you're Pain Gaming when Tempest is not having to use it ultimate.
Well, you know, at this point, Paint Gaming, obviously they're still looking for their first victory as well as is Cats Gaming, so they're going to try to stick here in game number 1 and hope that they can kind of ground it out. Now, it is a 2-game series, so obviously important to keep that in mind. This is just being the first game, but they want to try to still make something happen. But you look at just everything adding up, and it's going to be close to a miracle for them to have a comeback, honestly, in this game. Even only being 22 minutes into the game, it's very rare to say this, especially at this level of play here at DreamHack Winter 2012.
Yeah.
But it's just really is a one-sided dominating performance for Cats Gaming right now. But Pain is going to maybe try for one last strategy here, maybe give it one last help, maybe Ninja a Concord, and then get some good ganks and team fights going on, start snowballing off of that. But I mean, you look across the board right now on the Hellborn team, the items, nothing is just standing out. They're going to try to actually jump Bubbles down here with a 5-man crew. So all 5 are coming down here for Pain Gaming. Pain trying to make the Pain train, but it's not going to happen. Bubbles ports away, and now they are just all 5 down here instead of look to push. But now the Legion team is actually going to join them as well. So we're going to have another fight commence, and there's a great Burning Shadow Stun. The call on top of that. Pebbles will fall off the bat. Legion in the background, but the double damage. Tremble going to start tearing up the Hellborn team. Plague goes down in the background. Legionnaire does absolutely nothing. Moon Queen says, see ya, bitches. I'm out of here. Glacius trying to fall back. He ain't going to get too far, though. Another 4-man kill coming out for Cats Gaming. And again, I'm saying, there we go. There's a vote to concede. Pain is like, all right, I think that's enough. We've had enough. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 2. So it's not official just yet. But apparently there's still some players over there that may want. Okay, there we go. It is official now. So GG, well played. Cats Gaming takes the first game indeed. So well played to them. Definitely stick around, guys. Obviously, game 2 is going to be coming up here shortly. But I love the signs out there. We got some great fans again. So, but Cats Gaming again, taking game number 1. I'm sure they're happy for that. Again, that's their first victory here at DreamHack Winter. So good for them. We'll see if Pride now can make a comeback here in game 2 and get their first victory.
I got to say something real quick. I got to give a shout out to Ziori because I want to say that
Ziori's in the crowd.
Tremble killed Legionnaire like butter to a warm knife.
He says that, yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That analogy's so awesome. And
Great,
he did.
great
Did you see that?
analogy.
It was so much.
Yeah.
He did have a double damage rune though. So.
Double damage helps. Double damage tends to help. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So again, well played by you. Said it, man. I mean, this is what's so great about this tournament. Now that we're here, especially, we saw it in bits and pieces yesterday. Team MRR, Dynasty. You know, we got to see. Holy crap! These teams are actually great teams. They can play with the best of the best. Not only play with them, they can beat the best of the best. We saw a great performance here by Cats Gaming. They can obviously play at a top-tier level. They were very impressive here against Pain.
Absolutely, and I just think the drafting overall, I mean, I keep going back to that, but it really is important. And you talked about Pain Gaming. They had a strong draft as well. I do think that the Moon Queen, when you leave her up there like that, even if it's against the bubbles in her short lane, she does have high base damage, but her range is really what inhibits her. And if they just had a little bit of help, maybe from Glacius started top, that would put Pebbles in a bad situation mid, but at least give your short lane just a little bit of an edge, and that's what they needed to do.
Well, again, stick around, guys. We're going to have game number 2 coming up very shortly. You're going to take a quick break. Cats Gaming taking on Pain Gaming, game 2, coming up next.